Hey guys, welcome back, and we are going to talk a little bit more about Echo. So far it looks like the show is having some mixed reviews, and I want to point something out here real quick. So a lot of people have talked about how this show is really just checking boxes, and to be honest, it does seem that way. I was not aware of the fact that the star of the show was actually deaf in real life and an amputee, so while it is kind of ironic and seems silly that that's just a whole bunch of boxes that they checked right off the top of the list, it is pretty cool for this gal that she gets to be in this show. Now, apparently she has no acting experience. She was just somebody who was working for Amazon, decided to go try out for the part. Cool for her. I'm glad for her. That's a great story. It doesn't change the fact that what I've seen of the show looks like crap, that the show does seem to be like trying to just cram, like ham fist the diversity in there. And it's definitely reflecting in a lot of the early reviews. People are coming out saying it just fell flat. It was no big home run. It was just more of the MCU baggage attached to a new show that should have been a movie instead of, a 5, 6, 7 episode series. And of course, that's just how this has gone. We've seen this with Star Wars. We've seen this with Marvel. We've seen this with a lot of things where they take an idea that might work well in a 90-minute, 2-hour movie, and they just try to string it along across these shows that their characters people just don't really care about. I mean, they already said that this character, they thought her powers were kind of lame, and so they changed it for the show, and we're going to get back to that in a second. So right now, the Rotten Tomatoes score, it's kind of what you'd expect to see. Not very many reviews. The critics don't love it. It's basically sitting at just above fresh. So it's out of that. They're not going to let it go into the rotten range. Let's be honest, the critics are not going to make it go rotten. Audiences, looks like they're enjoying it, although again, 78% for a Marvel product is really low. But the overall theme of what we're seeing here is a lot of the critics are saying it's either like the best thing Marvel's ever done, or you have people like this saying a third-rate snoozer that further waters down the once mighty Marvel brand. And that's most of what I've seen from Marvel in the last 3-4 years, to be honest. Since Endgame, everything I've seen from Marvel has been basically mid to boring at best. Some of the other ones here, sorry Marvel, this series is falling on deaf ears without character investment. Echo feels like a quick one-off without much substance to make the human aspect of the character shine. Drab and dreadfully boring, with none of its characters interesting in the least. They don't have defined arcs, no clear motivations, and seem to hang around sans meaning. And a lot of the same. Now, the fans, on the flip side, you have fans that say this was so bad I made an account to rate it, and another one saying, literally, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I have interacted with a lot of Stan accounts in the last few days for Marvel, for Star Wars, for Disney. These are not real people. They might have real accounts, they might say real words, but they don't act like real people. They're a hive mind, okay? So I don't buy any of these reviews yet. Let's see how this thing pans out over the long run. Give it a week or two. And this is not without controversy, mind you. So apparently not a co-star, but somebody who's also part of the Marvel universe, who was a voice actress for a character named Kahhori in the Marvel What If show, got into a little bit of someone stepped into a situation, we'll put it that way. She was asked in an interview what she thought of the opinion that we didn't need 2 Native American characters in the MCU, and she was like, that's just egregious. And so the clip is right here where she's asked the question,
asking if Echo and Kahhori both needed to exist within the MCU, which is...
Did they really ask that?
They absolutely did, and it was so egregious. I was just wondering if you had a reaction, and if you could explain why it's important to have multiple native characters in a...
And she just goes on to say that that's egregious, just uses his word that he used. But the ironic part is the person that said it is actually Grace Randolph, who is basically one of the bigger Disney Marvel shills that exists on YouTube.
And just like with Captain Carter in Season 1, who's back here again, Season 2 introduces another new character to the MCU, Kahhori, who is basically Tesseract Pocahontas. In fact, the beginning of her episode reminds me so much of the beginning of that Disney animated movie. Now, I wasn't sure about her at first. Should we have this character and Echo who's coming up, right? But I have to say, Kahhori is super cool, and super powerful. So powerful. Some people, I suspect, will say she might be overpowered. But, I mean, I don't know. It's so cool to watch her work. I don't care. So now I'm like, do we really need Echo now that we have Kahhori? I mean, sure, of course, we could keep both characters. It would be wonderful to have more than one Native American character. In fact, there are multiple characters in the Kahhori episode that I think have potential. But, well, I can't give anything away about Echo, but when you see Echo, you will see that these two characters have striking similarities from their backgrounds to their power sets.
So I want to focus on what she said there about their background and their power sets, because yes, they're both Native American, so I don't know, maybe there is some similar ties in their origin stories for each of these characters. However, what I find really interesting is talking about their power sets. They already decided before they made the Echo show that they were going to retcon her powers from being able to mimic the moves of other people that she's fighting against to where she is going to have like these ancestral powers that come out of her like ancestral lineage to help her in times of need, I guess. From what I read up on Kahhori, because I'm not watching What If, and I just really don't care about a hypothetical MCU cartoon, but what I've read up on Kahhori is she's basically like Captain Marvel. So I'm not even sure what Grace is smoking. She's not wrong in the fact that, hey, it's a valid opinion. You know, you're introducing two Native American characters at the same time. That is kind of weird timing. But what the heck is this comparison to their power set? So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about all this. I am so confused about how the reaction people are having. It's like the woke side are eating their own on this because, honestly, the statement is something you would have thought somebody more like the Comicsgate guys would have said, but it's coming from freaking Grace Randolph. I find that hilarious. Anyways, let me know what you think of the show if you watched it. I am abstaining. I cannot make myself watch it. I don't want to waste the time, but if you did, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. We do have two channels, one for daily uploads, the other one for more of my live streams and hot takes. Links to both are down below, as well as the ability to join as a channel member for as little as $3 a month, and that'll greatly help us out. Much appreciated. We also have links to our Etsy accounts down below, as well as our website. We also have Locals and Subscribestar. If you didn't want to support us on YouTube, you can support us through those. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you on the next one.